Hey guys, and welcome back to Link's Awakening. We just picked up the Wind Marimba, and we're now on our way to... Maxie?
Next dungeon, which is going to be the Face Shrine, which is it's a little interesting. It's broken up into two dungeons, which sounds awesome, until you realize that the first dungeon is a room. But it's a plot room. We're gonna get a lot of plot in this part, so that's nice, I guess.
Well, it depends whether you're like one of the Zelda players who likes story in the game, so I guess you'd be a fan of Twilight Princess, or you're more of a Link Between Worlds kind of guy.
I guess, yeah. And right there I used I want to say it's one frame just to make me look like a badass, but when you exit from under the bridge, you're technically standing on land, so you can jump. So I used that as a shortcut to get back on land. Because when we gave the mermaid her necklace and got her scale, we actually completed the trading sequence. And this is the reward at the end, the magnifying lens, which by itself doesn't do anything. You can't equip it. But it has an effect on the entire world in that hidden enemies will appear, as you saw in that room, and you can see other things. But all that means is that there are certain characters that will have different dialogue. Like, there's nothing that... It would have been cool if you could actually equip it and use it, but that may have been a bit too much for them to program and develop, so I'm cool with them just having an item that essentially changes the world.
And that's a precursor to the Lens of Truth, isn't it?
Post-cursor. If that's even a word, but yeah.
Well, no, precursor is something that came before it, mate.
Yeah, but the Lens of Truth is based off the mirror, so it goes mirror, magnifying lens, Lens of Truth.
Well, son of a bitch. Well, it was the same type of mirror, you know, shape and whatnot.
Exactly. Link's a narcissist is what we're trying to get at here. Yeah, the picture with I found Zora, which I want to say has got to be English. It has to be. They could not have just looked at that and said, yeah, I found Zora. A-OK translation there.
It's like I fell asleep and whatnot.
I feel asleep, even worse.
Okay, well, I'm not programmed for English, so I just speak correct English every time. Well, most of the time, anyway.
Yeah, so that's the picture that you get there. It's a friendly Zora, which could very well be the precursor for super friendly Zoras. That would be the 3D variety, which are the... oh man, I forgot. There's sea and river, so they would be the sea Zora, because everything before that in 2D games are river Zoras. And then A Link Between Worlds just throws the whole thing to fucking shambles by having friendly river Zoras. And it's like, my timeline, no Nintendo, what have you done?
I gotta say, much prefer the design of the sea Zoras.
They are so much better. River Zoras are deeply rooted in 8-bit. So, they're not going to get much better. I mean, Tektites still look bad. Octoroks. Well, Octoroks have actually gotten pretty good makeovers over the course of the series. I think that was about it. I tend to set the playthrough momentum in. Once I get an item, I like to get everything that I can get with it. So, while I could have gotten that heart piece later, sooner, whatever, I just got it because now we have the hookshot, so might as well.
You'll notice that the old lady who sweeps a lot from the village is in the animal village now. She's making it her duty to sweep the entire island, which I find kind of funny.
I always find that idea hilarious when people want to sweep or dust nature, where it's like there's literally dirt everywhere. Like,
yeah.
That's the whole point. I don't know why, that's always just such a silly thing, even though it should be really sad, because it's futile. It's a very daunting, never-ending task that this old lady has put upon her. A married old lady. So this is probably a symptom of her depression from the fact that her husband will not talk to her in person.
Okay, I was going to make a joke there about how you should be interviewed for a geographic magazine, and it'd be all, what's the point of nature? Oh, there's just dirt everywhere. But then you had to go and, like, make it really depressing, so I'm not going to bother, no.
It's Link's Awakening, dude. It's depressing. If I were to compare Link's Awakening to any 3D, I would compare it to Majora's Mask. Mostly because, like, you know, they both got really cool, interesting characters, but then everything can be undertowed with sad, sad things. And this is the... I don't know, it's kind of like the secondary prize of the trading sequence, which is interesting but also a bit confusing that if you do the trading sequence, you don't get just one, but two prizes at the end. You need the magnifying glass to see this monster, who is supposed to be a reference to the original Zelda games where you had the moblins that would tell you that it's a secret to everyone or whatever.
I was gonna say, actually.
Yeah, and he trades one of your items for the boomerang, and you should always pick the shovel. You don't need it anymore, so just give him the shovel and get the boomerang, which is the most powerful weapon in the game. To put it mathematically, if you have the red tunic, plus the piece of power, plus the level 2 sword, so literally every single damage upgrade, and you do a spin attack, which is your strongest attack, you do 16 damage.
Jesus.
The boomerang does 32.
Oh?
Yeah. The boomerang is fucking beast. And I love the fact that the boomerang was essentially just your long distance stun item in A Link to the Past. And then they completely turn it on its head by making it the most OP destructive item in the game.
It's like, Jesus, after a while I just stopped using the boomerang in the 3D games, but I would never want to stop using it in here.
I stop using it occasionally just to make things fair, even though, come on, I'm playing the games. How fair is it gonna get?
You just like to have fun during these text box scrolling sequences, don't you?
I do! Come on, the fact that there is actually frame progression in between those boxes, I'm gonna take advantage of every single one.
So, Bexley, what was your favourite part of Link's Awakening DX or original? Oh, I'd just abuse frames for the shits,
Plot, 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 scary plot.
Might as well put this was spoilers all along in the I want to say description, because I'm trying to make individual descriptions now for each part.
Well, good luck to you on that. I can barely come up with titles at this point.
I just go for puns mostly. So what are we doing here?
Like I said, we're gonna go to the first half of Face Shrine, and it's behind this maze of Armos, which you can take down with the boomerang very easily. And I wanted to get one of the seashells. This is one of the post 20 seashells, so if you already got the level 2 sword, you just get 20 rupees there. So, that's a seashell that you rarely ever see in a Link's Awakening playthrough. You're welcome.
These Armos mazes are kind of like a staple in the Zelda franchise, because I remember one from the Minish Cap where you kind of had to shrink down and go inside an Armos that has been deactivated to turn it on, bring it to life, and then you kill it to move it out of the way.
Yeah, I actually really like that, because that shows that they took an old enemy, they didn't really change it too much in its design, but completely revamped it, made it very interesting.
Also, this is a not Link's Awakening, we're already playing that game. This is a Link to the Past kind of boss, isn't it?
It is the third and final Light World A Link to the Past boss. We already took down Moldorm in the first dungeon. We took down Lanmola in the desert, and now we took down the Armos Knight, even though in A Link to the Past you actually took down 8. But yeah, completely recycled those bosses, because remember, this did start as a side project from the dev team of A Link to the Past as their after-school activity.
This is very important. Pay close attention here.
You should be reading all of this text, or you could be listening to this music, because I actually really like the tune playing during this.
Well, if you want to listen to the music intact without us babbling over it, I think it's Hellfire playthroughs this one's going on, not HF playthroughs.
Why do you even have two? Why?
I'll tell you that as fast as I can. There was originally Hellfire playthroughs, then some login system changed, and I lost the ability to get into that, so I created HF playthroughs, and then I got Hellfire playthroughs back later on. Boom, done.
Oh, nice. Good, because just in time for us to see how much of a dick the owl is. Seriously, we just read a wall relief that says, hey dude, your quest might be for the absolute wrong reasons. You might be killing people. This could be bad. Don't do this. And the owl shows up, is like, yeah, well, maybe it's not. You won't know till you finish. Lol, bye. And it's like, fuck you, owl. Fuck you.
There's a lot of theories about this owl as well. Is he a nightmare? Is he trying to dissuade Link, or is he just the Windfish's consciousness and whatnot? And I don't think he's the Windfish's consciousness, because the Windfish will talk to you himself from time to time.
I've always seen it as the Windfish kind of segmented his mind. What you're being told could actually, at the end of dungeons where he's shrine, there's a shrine. I could see that as sort of the Windfish mumbling in his sleep. That's actually his physical voice. And the owl is a part of his mind that he's separated to, any actions that he needed to take while being asleep, the owl is, like I said, it's a part of him, and it's meant to serve him. But it's not, like, separate. It is him.
It's interesting, though, like, when you meet a good character, or one you perceive to be good, and he tells you not to do the thing that is obviously the point of the story, it makes you kind of uncomfortable, actually, or at least unsettled.
You want something even worse than that? Play Nier. Once you've played Nier, play a second playthrough, and you will hate yourself more than anything. It is I don't even want to spoil it just because it's so genius what they do, but just let it be known that you need to think twice about every action you take in that game.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Face Shrine, level 6. What's the gimmick for this one, Maxi?
It's shaped like a face.
Well,
although that's technically the gimmick of every dungeon, they're all shaped like something minus Eagle's Tower, but no, that's as far as the gimmick for this goes.
No. Don't you sass me, young man. I said gimmick, not design.
That's the gimmick, is its design.
No, they're two separate things. One's graphical, one's gameplay related.
Okay, well, I'll just let you know that this game does run at 60 FPS, so are you happy now?
You're an asshole. Whoa, trippy seizure effects here.
Only available in 60 FPS.
60 FPS.
Bombs are super OP in this dungeon. I love it. I love when my bombs are super OP. It makes me feel like I'm playing Zelda 1.
Red bracelet is better than blue. Oh shit, motherfucker.
Everything red is better than blue in this game. And it is kind of a lame prize. I do like how we're getting it super early, but all it does is let you pick up heavier things, which in the case of this dungeon means you can pick up these elephant statues. That's about the extent.
Whenever I see, like, Link going through one of those things that he has to, like, rest against, you know, these swirling door things, I always think of Thunderbird for some reason.
Huh. I always think of, I think it's more like Haunted Mansion type dealios. You know, the swirly bookcases, even though, you know, those are bookcases and not an actual indent of the person. And it brings back that shitty gimmick of the door won't open, try throwing something into it.
Wow, you're leaving a lot of treasure chests behind here, mate.
They're mostly money. Last dungeon, I got a shit ton of treasure chests that had money in them, especially that one that had 200. That was because after buying the bow and arrow, there is still kind of a money crunch, but it's only up to 300. Okay. Now that I have 300 rupees, I'm done with money for the rest of the game. And I don't know why you're just noticing this, because in all the other dungeons in the rest of the game, I have not opened a single dungeon map chest, compass chest, or stone beak chest, because I don't give a fuck.
Well, I don't know, maybe Lewis's kleptomania is rubbing off on me.
It's not kleptomania. Kleptomania is an obsession with stealing things. If the item is right there, it doesn't belong to a person, the obsession doesn't exist. It's obsessive compulsive.
Okay, Mr. Pedant.
I'll be pedant when it comes to, like, mental tics like that. And this is what I mean when I say that the face design is actually the gimmick. Because in order to get one of the keys to progress through the second half, you gotta go pretty deep into the dungeon, then go all the way back to the start, and then we gotta do it a second time.
Okay, you're just showing off here, not using the shield.
I fucking love doing that. That is so boss, and technically faster. That is the only reason I do it, is because it's faster.
Well, you are a speedrunner. Speed is the name of the game with you people, really.
Exactly. But this one, I'll give you. That wall that needs to be bombed is kind of a dick move, because there's not even cracks on it.
I love taking out this guy, just like grabbing the ball before he can get back to it.
It's so mean, and he also makes one of the cutest little noises. Like, I want to keep him as a pet. I don't want to kill him. I just want to put him in a box.
Meow.
And then feed him. I want to feed him chicken nuggets.
Okay, let's call him Ronnie and be done with it. How close are we to the boss now, mate?
We're quite a ways. Like I said, the dungeon is sort of divided into two halves. You gotta go to the left eye, go back to the mouth, go to the right eye, go back to the mouth, then go to the boss.
Hang on a second here. What the hell happened back there with, like, that chain explosion?
Oh, that is the best part ever. I just use bomb arrows. There's 4 wizrobes that pop up, and they pop up in sort of a diagonal formation. So I shot one arrow to the right to blow up 2 of them, and then I shot one north to blow up the other two. And so you just get the explosion of the bomb and then the explosion of the Wizrobes. Like, bombs are pretty much the best way to take those fuckers down, because if you don't, you're gonna be dealing with a complete nightmare of them popping in and out, shooting long-distance rays, and it's like, no, fuck that, I'm gonna blow you the fuck up right now.
The Majora's Mask Wizrobes seem like complete pansies in comparison to the ones in the 2D games.
2D Wizrobes are the worst. I would put them up there with Darknuts. Darknuts are a pain just because you can only hit them in one direction, and they move around, and you got contact damage, and you're usually in rooms with like 5 of them. Wizrobes are a very, very close second, just because of their long-range attack, the fact that they can only be hit in certain times, and they only get worse in 2D games.
It's like you're remembering a war story or something. Oh, the Wizrobes have just got worse and worse and worse.
I have Wizrobe PTSD, you don't even know. We passed a room where we had to deal with horse statues. I don't even know what their official name is. It is really hard to find what those guys are actually called, but their whole gimmick is that you have to throw them against a wall in order to get them to stand up straight, and it kind of changes which wall, but there's sort of like an 80% chance that said wall will cause them to land straight up. So I got lucky, and the 4 horse heads I had to throw in this dungeon, I only had to throw them all once. So let it be known that you can get stuck there for a while, frustrated, constantly throwing horse heads at the walls.
That's RNG, isn't it?
Yes, it is pretty random at this point. And also, Pole's voice, still susceptible to music. Now that we got an ocarina, I just played the quickest song that wouldn't teleport me out of the dungeon.
Yeah, we're blazing through now, so if we refer to stuff that happened like 20 seconds ago, I apologise, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's a pretty quick dungeon. Once you get past...
Will you stop showing off with this shit?
You have to do that! You have to throw the pot to open the chest!
Madam, that is entirely beside the point!
Don't call me madam. It's miss. I'll have you know.
Okay, you're a single, independent LPer who don't need no co-commentator.
Who don't need no Tom.
Well, you kinda need me, otherwise, who's gonna edit the part?
Okay, I'll be madam.
Okay, that's one for the TV Tropes page. Quite close to the boss now. How long would you say it will take you to reach that room?
2 rooms. First, we gotta get past this black hole room that kills all the enemies to unlock the door for you. Thank you very much.
Nice job, dungeon.
Good job! And then you gotta kill this one Wizrobe with bombs. You could go jumping around the room, or you could just, push the block. And now boss. It's Face Shrine, so the boss is a face. Why?
Pretty creepy, actually.
Yeah, and they bring him back in Oracle of Seasons. But the cool thing about him is that you can get like 3 hits before he even starts talking. And then you just keep laying down the bombs. If you have the rock feather, you can jump over these tiles. This boss is super easy. This guy should have been the first boss.
Really, the only thing you have to look out for here is like your timing and whatnot.
That's it. And honestly, if you're bad at timing, if you've upgraded your bomb bag, just keep laying them down. Just keep doing it over and over and over. He takes so few hits that you'll kill him even with mistimed bombs before you run out of bombs.
Jesus, and there's that thing I was telling you guys about when the bosses are telling us things about the story and the like, but I'm going to shut up now so you can hear the coral triangle.
Tingly.
Lame. Triangle is lame. Except for the Triforce, of course. Praise be to Din, nay ruin for all. We'll see you guys next time for more Link's Awakening. Bye-bye.